Welcome to Advertising Champions, your go-to destination for insights into the dynamic world of advertising. I'm your host, Tony Stanol, and today we're with Angelo Ponzi, who is the founder of Craft in Orange County, California. Welcome, Angelo.
Thank you, Tony, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So you are in the business of being a fractional CMO. There's a lot of chatter around that these days. Tell us what got you into this area.
Well, I actually grew up, if you will, in the advertising agency business. Worked for large companies. I was fortunate to grow my own and have the opportunity to sell it. But throughout my advertising career, I was always the strategic planner, the researcher, the guy with the data. And in my time as on the client side as a VP of marketing, CMO, chief strategy officer, again, everything I did was based on understanding the markets through data. And so when I founded this company, which actually I just had my 10th year anniversary, it was about how can I help companies do a better job in understanding their markets so they could do a better job in, frankly, marketing when it comes to the tactical side.
Right. A lot of people don't take the time to ready, set, shoot. They'll go shoot first. So you're talking strategy is the prelude to that.
No, absolutely. I mean, I get invited into prospects all the time. It's like, oh, I just need a social media campaign. And so, we get into those conversations and they're just doing stuff. There's no rhyme or reason. It's a one size fits all message, regardless of there's 4 different vertical markets or 4 different target audiences, and they just have one message. And then they complain when it doesn't work. So my thing is always pushing them to let's understand not only the market, but also internal perspective as well. I have an assessment tool that I use, and it's an internal perspective on a variety of things: audience, product, perception, leverageability, engagement, and strategy. And the tool allows me to look at an aggregate of their answers, but it also allows me to drill down to the individuals. And I find it very interesting that, the leader of the company, where it's going to rate it a 5, yet the guy in charge of it rates it a 1. And so I look for those gaps before I even start, because ultimately, if I get to the point where I have a plan and they're not in alignment when we start, they're not going to be in alignment at the end. So it's all about, again, bringing people into focus, having them have a clear understanding of the market and how they're going to grow, whether they're going to pivot, all those different things.
Well, give me an example. You don't need to name the company if it's confidential or whatever, but of where, someone came to you and said, hey, Angelo, I think we need this. And you took a step back and took a more holistic view and ended up giving them something different. Do you have an example of an occasion you did that?
Unfortunately, I have way too many examples. I go with a med tech company last year, 41 years old. They had me come in, and their question was, we think we've saturated the market and we need to know, how big it is. Plus we have other issues. It seems our sales are taking a long time. We're not sure our marketing departments are more tactical than strategic. And so to get into that evaluation. And so one of the things that we did is understand how big the market was. And at the end of the day, they owned 0.0000001% of it. So they didn't need to pivot. They just needed to do a better job. And so I approach things holistically. And one of the things we found out, for example, in the sales process, is they were waiting to the very end to bring in legal. And then the legal would drag on for another 3 or 4 or 5 months. And just a simple process changed allowed them to close a lot quicker. But also clarity of their message, that they were using a one size fits all, if you will. And so breaking that down into the various target audiences, and these were their target companies were, big medical companies. And so we had multiple people to speak to. And so crafting that message, if you will, allowed us to focus their execution and find better ways to reach their target audience. Because big corporations got a lot of spam filters and things like that. So email just really wasn't working for them. So we had to take some different approaches.
Gotcha. Well, I tell
Another,
you, in
another,
the last couple of seconds here, Angelo, just so people watching this will know, if you're in their category, what industries do you service most often, or are you pretty agnostic about the type of business?
I'm very agnostic. I have both B2B and B2C. I would say in the last 3 or 4, 5 years, it's been more on the B2B, manufacturing, SaaS, financial services, things like that. But I do have everything from apparel to alcoholic beverage to ice cream to restaurants on the other side. I've just been focusing on the B2B side.
Gotcha. Well, thank you very much for your time, Angelo. This has been enlightening. It went by lightning fast, unfortunately.
It did.
But we appreciate you being with us.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
And thank you for tuning into this episode of Advertising Champions. For further information, be sure to visit dailynewsnetwork.com. And we'll see you next time.
We've been around for 16 years, working with clients, with thousands of clients. We're working with agencies to be able to scale them and grow them and provide them services that would cost them way more than it would for them to do it themselves. Anything oriented around lead generation, video creation, web design, we're full service, so we can really serve most people.